Wow. Yeah. Well, good morning. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. We've been expecting you. Thank you for not disappointing us. Well, it's the last of my series on back to school, back to cool school. Because this is cool school, isn't it? Depends on how you look at the challenges you're walking through. Which brings me to today's talk. It's entitled WTF. Okay, easy. As a hush grew upon the congregation. You know, I used to, several years ago, at a church I was at, it had a large marquee where they would always put up on the letters of, you know, the talk title for the week. And people would come depending on what those little phrases said, you know. And when I put up WTF, I got a lot of people from the community wanting to know what we were doing in here. Where's the faith? WTF? Where did your mind go? Come on. Well, it's all in your BS. WTF is in your BS. Your belief system, people. Okay, it's going to be an acronym day. I'm going to fill you with acronyms, and I'm sure that, you know, whenever I do this talk, people always have their favorite that I never hit upon. Yeah. So you can put them on a list. We'll start a list in the back, and then you will cycle them around so everybody can express their favorite. So, but where is your faith? Is your faith in what you want to have happen, or in the challenge you're experiencing? I know it's interesting to check in, because when things don't go right, we tend to have faith in what our challenges are. You know, have you ever said, well, how bad can it get? Never ask the universe that. I've learned to say, well, how good can it get? Better and better. And what's better than the best right now for you? Just the idea of introducing the question of how much power and love you can have in the universe begins to open the portals for the divine love that you are to flow and circulate. It's when we block that off. You ever damn something? Oh, damn it. You know, and I used to say it without even knowing it. Something would happen and I'd say, damn it. Well, that little phrase automatically goes in and stops the flow of good. Now, I've retrained myself. I put in a new filter that says, God bless it. It just takes a second right before you say it to rethink it. But when you can say, God bless this, boom, opens the portals to blessing. God calling, I'm sure it's a divine call. Please, let God know I'll be through in just a few minutes. So each of us can only demonstrate, and demonstrate means have an answer to prayer. Demonstration is when you are in a teaching and you pray. A demonstration is the result of what you've prayed about. Just like in mathematics, 2 + 2 = 4. 4. That's a demonstration of mathematics. So if we can only demonstrate at the level of our belief, we need to change what we believe. And we go and search our whole lives to change our belief. And we're taught by our parents and our teachers and our loved ones and our neighbors to go out there and Make something of yourself. Go out there and do something with yourself. Go out there and find the answers. And the more that I have sought, the more the answers have told me, go within. Go back into yourself. So everything that, we think is the answer out there is really in here, because there's only one of us here. It is the power that you are. And when you connect with that, you become the source energy that created you. And when you tap into that, nothing can be against you. Because truly, there is nothing against you. Anything telling you no is just telling you there's a yes somewhere else. A no is not a no, it's a not right now, not this way. There is another way. And if you can see your no's as yeses somewhere else, you'll keep moving in the direction of your dreams. So where is your faith? Do you believe that you are a co-creator as God in form? Do you stumble if you were to say to yourself, I am God? Now, if you're saying it and you believe that you're the only God and no one else is, that's a whole different thing. But when you say, I am God like everything and everyone else, that puts you in the power. You just took your power back. Who can be against you when you are for everything? So, WTF? Did you get served lemons? And you don't know how to make lemonade? Sugar, yeah. The metaphysical interpretation of diabetes is losing the sweetness of life. Have we lost the sweetness in our lemonade? It just takes a little, and it doesn't even have to be real sugar, as long as it works for you. Some people put in stevia. I love stevia. So, is your lemonade bitter or sweet? Or are you just a sourpuss? Now, I'm calling out myself on this, because I used to be just a sourpuss. It was never right. Nothing was ever right. Nobody could ever do it like I can. Are you one of those? And it's okay if you are. It's a good place to be, because you're about to grow up all over yourself. Because this is a teaching of maturity. What this teaching did for me was it called me up to grow into my healing. Because when I looked at the things that were challenging to me, where I wasn't experiencing a healing, it was because I was choosing not to expand my consciousness. I was clinging to the small things in life that I thought would fulfill me. And I was demonstrating at that level. Now, what I love about this teaching is we're always asking questions. What else? Bucky hit it perfectly. Children keep asking questions. Why is the grass green and the sky blue? I don't know. Probably because there's chlorophyll in the grass and there's space in the atmosphere. But it gets us thinking, doesn't it? Why? WTF? Where's the faith here? If you can have the faith of a mustard seed, you ever seen a mustard seed? Nobody has. They don't exist. They don't. No, they don't. No, they do not. All right, they exist, but they're really so small you can barely see them. They're little tiny things. But each of us has that much faith, or you wouldn't be in this room. You wouldn't have made it. You wouldn't have even gotten your clothes on this morning if you didn't have that much faith. You would have just laid in bed all day and listened to the rain on the roof, which is wonderful at times. But we need to be here. We need to be clear. We need to grow up and to express with each other. That's why we're here. Well, some say that they were dealt a bad hand. Well, you just don't know my story. I was dealt a bad hand. Do some of you feel that way? I mean, I felt that way before at times. I mean, when I was down, I wallowed in my hand of deuces until I found out that deuces were wild, and it changed my whole perspective. It's not what you were dealt, it's how you play your hand. It's how you get creative with what you're dealt. It's making lemons out of the lemonade. Or adding a little iced tea and having a Carl Palmer, or whatever they call it. Carl Palmer, yeah. See where my mind is all music. Arnold Palmer, yes. Whole different scenario comes in. But how creative can you be? How much sunshine are you allowed to have? All of it. It's all yours. It's all just for you and everybody else. So, when you go to the well of prosperity, do you go with a thimble, with a cup, or with a bowl, or with a bucket? I tap a pipeline in there, man. Come on. I live in prosperity all the time, and we all do, but we sometimes deny it because where our faith lies. So when something comes up, and it always does, we need to look at it rightly. We need to look at it for what it's showing us. What is the universe telling me here? What is the message that this has for me? How can I play this hand and play it in a way that will prosper me and everyone else? Lay your cards down on the table and look at what you have. You were given a body, a creative mind that lets you look at things differently. When I say WTF, you go somewhere else. Where's the faith, people? The faith is what you believe. You know, it's said in our teaching, change your thinking, change your life, right? Well, if thinking could change our life, we all be different people. That's the beginning. That's the kindergarten of metaphysics. Now, we need to change our beliefs. How we be in life. How are you being in life? Are you seeing the glass half empty or half full? And this isn't a judgment, this is just a perspective. I used to always see it as there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough. Well, that may work for you, but that's not for me. Until I realized that it was because of my upbringing and where I was focusing my attention that I saw things as in lack and limitation. And let me tell you how bad it can be. When a loving practitioner took me aside and said, "You're a downer, man. You are downing me out." Nobody wants to be around you. I'm like, I know. She's like, well, don't you want to socialize? No, I don't want to be around people. She's like, you are a mess. I'm like, yeah, I am. But then I realized what I was doing to myself, and that if I was the common denominator in all my problems, challenges, was me. What needs to be changed? Me. I had to look at things differently. And what happens when you start to reverse the polarity? Everything changes. All of a sudden, you reverse the polarity, and instead of pushing people away, you start to magnetize energy of love towards you. You start to become attractive to people because they want to know what you have and why is your life working. You look differently. You're glowing. Okay, you get a light like this, you'll glow too. So, where's your faith? Like I said, if somebody has written you a pink slip somewhere, I was so mad at my boss when they let me go. It was the best thing they could have done for me. I would have never found the great job after that I had that was much more suited for me unless that boss had let me go. Has a loved one let you go? Well, maybe there's a better loved one for you. You know, we grab what we have because we don't think there's anything better. At least I used to. You know, everything I have has teeth and claw marks in it from me grasping it. Hold on loosely. Let it go. The great can't come in if you're only attached to the good. And the great is on its way. It's just that since we can't see it, since we don't have faith in it, we don't attract it. So we need to see things differently. So wherever someone has written you a pink slip, write yourself a green slip. Actually get a green piece of paper and write down what you want to be, do, and have on it, and post it somewhere. Like, I am fill in the blank, or I have fill in the blank, and put it somewhere you see it all the time. I am prosperous. I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. You might go, who does he think he is? Well, who do you think you are not being that? You know, that's the blasphemy, is in saying that, oh, I couldn't possibly be those things. Why not? Where's your faith, man? Come on. So I'm here just to wake you up. Just to wake you up. There's a story called The Hymn of the Pearl in Gnostic Gospel. For all of you advanced seekers, I invite you to look it up online. It's a very long story, but I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version of it. This is something we had to read in ministerial school, and it changed how I saw my life and why I was here. You mean I have a reason for being here? Oh, yeah. You actually signed a contract. It's a full run contract. There's no getting out of it. You can't opt out, because if you do, the contract gets longer and more binding as you go along. So you might as well stay with what you got. There is no exodus. So the story goes like this. There was a wonderful prince in a faraway consciousness who was tasked with going into the lower consciousness to retrieve a pearl of great price, a pearl of wisdom from a dragon. And he or she, make up your own story, they were given all this information in the high consciousness, and they were told, Do not eat of the food or drink of the wine or the water, because it will make you forget. And they even sent travelers with them to make sure. But soon the food they had brought with them and the drink had ran out. And they had forgotten why they had gone on this trip. So a message was sent from the higher realms on the wings of an eagle. And the eagle spoke to the prince or princess and said, remember who you are and why you are here. That's why you're all here today. I'm your eagle. But I have a message for you. Wake up! The dragon is asleep. It's a good time to grab that pearl of wisdom and head back to the higher consciousness. Think about it. The dragons in our lives, we expect them to fight with us, so we fight with them. Wait till they fall asleep and just go grab the pearl. It's easy if you know when the dragon is sleeping. And then come back to the higher consciousness and celebrate with your conscious family of the journey that you've had in this lifetime. How powerful is that? Again, and I'm probably, you guys will read it and go, that's not what the story was about at all, but this is what I took from the story. And it's from the Gnostic Gospels, and it's called The Hem of the Pearl. So back to our acronyms. So let's mess around with a couple. Everybody knows this one. Fear. False evidence appearing real. Or F everything and run, right? Depends where you're at.
Face everything and recover.
Face everything and recover. Good. See, I knew everybody would have their own. Okay, EGO, your ego. Edging God out. Ego's a good thing, but like everything, it's moderation. Moderation is good. How about luck? L-U-C-K. Learning under conscious knowledge. Learning under conscious knowledge. It's where opportunity meets preparedness. Boom. It was an overnight success. Took 20 years to get to that moment where that overnight happened, because we were learning, we were growing, we were changing, and all of a sudden, boom, the stars aligned, and my consciousness was in the right place at the right time, and luck happened to me. I learned under conscious knowledge. There is no such thing as lucky. I mean, if it was just luck, then what are we doing? If there's no way to figure it out, why are we trying to figure it out? Because we want to figure it out. There's got to be a shortcut here somewhere, right? So, what is live spelled backwards? It's living life backwards. We need to live life forward, so we don't get in trouble, so things don't go backwards on us. You know what I'm saying? There's no big mystery. So what is the acronym for EVIL? Every victim is losing. Interesting. Life. Live it fully every day. Life. Live it fully every day. Are you living life? Your life fully every day? I I know you are. If you're here, you're doing that, right? Respond with love. Or living in full expressiveness. GPS, God's prayer service. That's why you're here. Your GPS brought you here. God's prayer service. And one of my favorites is sin, S-I-N, self-induced nonsense. That always got my Catholic friends, no, that's not right. There is sin. I'm like, if you believe it, you live it. That's for you. That's yours. That's for you. And some people, they who are really attached to their teaching want to argue these things with me. I'm like, I just fall silent. If you're right, just fall silent. Don't let them have their process. Let them get it out of their system. The moment that you add to their energy, they're going to add to that energy, and all of a sudden you've got an argument because you're trying to prove each other right or wrong. And there is no right and wrong. There is a field of all opportunity. And I will meet you there where we can discuss everything. Right? It's an interesting time right now to think about that. Right? Right? There's a lot going on. Turn that TV off, man. Come on. Put on the Travel Channel. Or put on Spa Radio Network. I love that. My new series, whatever it is, in my car. I found the Spa Channel, and oh man, and nobody wants to drive behind me because I'm doing the speed limit. TGIF. Thank God I'm forgiven. You thank God it's Friday. Thank God I'm forgiven. Are you forgiven? Yes, you are. You've never done anything wrong. Sometimes when we dance, we step on people's toes. Just say, I'm sorry, and don't do it again. And if you really hurt somebody, help them fix it, if you can, unless you're going to cause more problems, and then fix yourself. So you don't do it again. 1. Only now exists. Only now exists. The past is history. The future is mystery. All you have is the now moment. That's why they call it the present that you give to yourself in every moment. The present. Hope. Hanging on to positive expectations, or helping others pursue excellence. It's a different perspective on hope. And how about frog? Fully relying on God. Frog. That's why you like those frogs who fully rely on God. And push. Push it. Pray until something happens. Push. Pray until something happens. So, in conclusion, if you got served lemons, boy, make the best lemonade anybody has ever tasted. Or add some iced tea and make your own Arnold Palmer. I can say this. But it's up to you to decide what you were dealt and how to play your hand in a way that makes sense. And there are no losers. No one loses. Well, none of us are going to get out of this alive, but we're going to live forever because we've never been born. We never die. These gloves, the hand that is within them finds a new glove. And that's all that happens. As my dad says, your body is a place where your spirit and soul parks itself for an instant in eternity. It's a long instant, man. Seems like a long time, but it's instantaneous. So make the best of every moment that you can. Live life to its fullest and love who you are, because there's only one of us here, and it's God. And so it is. Thank you. All right. It's time to follow our teaching now. We're going to get back into the energy of Source. So I invite you to bring to the forefront of your consciousness what you choose to believe that the power that created you is. You can call it whatever you want: Christ consciousness, Jesus the Christ, God, Goddess, Source, Great Spirit. That's your business. But I think that we can agree that there is a power that is always on, always creating form and inviting that form back into itself in God's perfect recycling system of the universe. And that each one of us is a divine expression of that power. Each one of us has been gifted with this thing called life. And we get to choose how it plays out. We get to decide what our favorite color is and how we express. And I invite you to choose love. Respond with love. Look for love in all of your situations, for it is in that love that we find ourselves. So I speak a word of healing right here and right now upon anyone or anything that is asked for prayer, be it verbal or written, typed, or in any way conveyed the idea that we need some assistance here. I speak a word of energy into those prayers, activating the cause and the source of all healing to now become active, to move in a way that brings the healing or the revealing of truth in every situation, that allows the perfect connection to be made for the ultimate healing and the revealing of truth that we have all been searching for is already within us. And as we pay attention to that love begins to grow and to manifest and to demonstrate in our world of form. So we are blessed. We are the blessing. And we are so well provided for. I just say thank you. Thank you, divine, infinite wisdom, for your knowledge, for your ideas, for the healing, for the revealing of that truth right here and right now, bringing exactly what is needed in each moment so that we may each move forward in the progression of our dreams. And it is done. We are so grateful that the truckloads of good that are happening for us are available to us as we open our consciousness to the healing love and energy of God itself. So I release this word, letting go completely, letting God be God in our lives as it sees fit. So I let go, knowing it is already so, as we affirm it together by saying, and so it is. Amen.